Hi guys, this is activity 34, the story of leprosy. This is the introduction that you read in class, but I'm going to read it to you again. If you want to listen to it, great. Otherwise, fast forward to the next section. When the bubonic plague first occurred in San Francisco in 1900, the official response was to isolate or quarantine Chinatown. By 1906, it was clear that quarantine would not work to stop a disease spread by fleas. But during that first outbreak, people living in Chinatown were left to fend for themselves. Leprosy, or Hansen's disease, is another illness that caused people to be quarantined. Because this is a long-term disease, people infected were forced to live apart from others for many years. In this activity, you will read about leprosy and make decisions about how people with leprosy and other infectious diseases should be treated. This is the picture that's on the first page. There's the challenge. I've already probably talked about that. So let me scroll down to the next page. Here's the procedure. It says in your groups of 4, discuss what you know about the disease leprosy. You've probably already done that with your teacher. You've already written down your ideas in your science notebook as well. Then you're going to listen to this video and you're going to think about how infectious diseases can and should be controlled. What I would like you to do, and what it says on the smartboard lesson, is to listen to me read and then push the pause button when I get to these, or one of these pencils over here on the left hand side, and I'll tell you when I get there, and then stop and write down the main ideas in your science notebook. The story of leprosy. Imagine having a disease that, if people knew you had it, would cause you to be taken away from your family and forced to live somewhere else. If you had this disease, other people would be afraid to come near you or touch you. You would not be allowed to eat or sleep near uninfected people. This is the story of leprosy. Historically, people with leprosy have been expelled from society. In the Middle Ages, people who had leprosy were considered dead. They were given a funeral service while still alive, and then forced to wander without a home and beg for food until they died. People have always been afraid of those with leprosy because the disease could cause serious deformities of the face, arms, and legs. Nerve damage could cause skin numbness. People sometimes lost fingers and toes to injuries that they did not feel. Damage to optic nerves could lead to blindness. In addition, there were often sores on the skin. Many of these changes were permanent and left those infected physically disabled. Now please push the pause button. Take as long as you need to take to write down the main ideas of these 2 paragraphs. In 1894, the Louisiana Leper Home was established in Carville, Louisiana. At that time, people infected with leprosy were not allowed on public transportation and were taken to the home by boat. In fact, some individuals were placed in handcuffs and leg shackles so they would not escape. Once there, they were not allowed to make telephone calls or vote. Fear of spreading the disease meant that their outgoing mail and money were sterilized. The local soft drink company would not even accept empty bottles from the home. I'm at the next yellow pencil. Please pause and write down the main ideas from that section. In 1873, Dr. G. A. Hansen discovered that the bacterium I can't even say that, Mycobacterium leprae caused leprosy. However, no one knew how to prevent the bacteria from spreading. It was not until the late 1950s that the use of antibiotics against leprosy finally allowed people infected with the disease in the United States to choose where they wanted to live. Today, leprosy is called Hansen's disease in honor of Dr. Hansen. This new name also reflects the modern attitude towards this disease. It is now possible to treat and cure Hansen's disease with drugs. An infected person can become non-contagious after just a few days of treatment, and the spread of the disease can be controlled without long-term isolation of the victims. please push the pause button and write down the main ideas of that section. This is continuation of the story of leprosy. The irony is that Hansen's disease does not spread easily and is very hard to catch. Only about 5% of family members living with infected people develop the disease. The exact way this disease spreads is still not known. Scientists believe that becoming infected requires close contact with an infected person over a long period of time. However, it has always been rare, even for people caring for those with Hansen's disease, to catch it. This may be because more than 90% of the population is believed to be immune. This means that these people would not become infected even after being exposed to the disease. Although it is now rare in the United States, Hansen's disease is still a serious health problem in parts of Asia, Africa, and South America, particularly Brazil, where it usually affects the poorest people. Despite advances in its treatment, more than one new case of Hansen's disease is diagnosed worldwide every minute. Over there on the left-hand side, you see a picture, and the caption under the picture says, "The germ that causes Hansen's disease can be found in certain animals, including armadillos," like the one shown in that guy's hands. Could armadillos be vectors for this disease? Scientists don't know the answer. Please push the pause button and write down the main ideas from those two paragraphs. One last little section. After you have written down the main ideas, I would like you to discuss and write down the answers to analysis questions 1, 2, and 3 with your group members. We'll talk about them then in class, and then number 4 of the analysis questions is going to be an analysis question. I'm sorry, yeah, I know that. An assessment question. And each of your teachers will tell you what the expectations are and the rubric that you'll use to be assessed with. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Bye.